Hi, my name is Graham Cunningham. I'm a senior lighting and compositing artist and instructor. In this course, I'll be taking you through the creation of a multi-shot lighting template, as well as leading you through the process of shot lighting using Arnold. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the Foundry for inviting me to present this course on lighting in Katana. Thanks to Ruth Hutton for all of her assistance while creating this course. She's authored a ton of awesome content here. You can check out some of her work from the Foundry Learn website. And I'd also like to say thank you to Taeyoung Kim for his work. Taeyoung Kim has a course from Gnomon Workshop that I checked out last year when I was creating my course over there, and learned a ton of stuff from him about setting up a shot template and custom tools in Katana. For software, I'm on a Windows PC, and I'm using Katana version 7.5 v3, K2A 4.4.1, and Arnold 7.4.1. And I'm also using Nuke version 16 v4. In order to get this to work with Arnold and use the proper color space for ACES CG, I have an OCIO install, and that is set to use the Studio Config version 2.0. If we look at some environment variables I have set up for that, we can take a look at our environment variables here. Let's see, if we scroll down here, you simply need to set an OCIO to point to that OCIO file. And you can see I have a few other environment variables that are set up for Katana and other things. Now, in order to get Katana running, you obviously would need to set up a Katana batch file. And I have a couple of those. I've set them up in my users.katana folder. You can put these wherever you like. So these are just text files. If you click on one of these, you can see what I've got in here. You can have more than one of these. This is equivalent version for PRMan if you want to use that. For me, I like to actually have a nice start menu item for these rather than just having this kind of ugly batch script thing. So I've actually got a little bit of a hack I'd like to tell you guys about first of all. So what you can do if you want to have something like this, where you have a nice shortcut for your start menu or for, say, your taskbar, there's a little trick you have to do in order to get that to work. So once you've authored your batch file, what you want to do is actually rename this temporarily to an exe file. And once you do that, it allows you the option to right click and pin to start. So if you pin this to the start menu, if you go to your start menu, now you'll see that this has shown up over here. And you can get to this directory by right clicking and open the file location. And so this will open up where the start menu items are located. And you can see here's my other shortcut that I created previously. And here's the new one. So you can just go ahead and rename that. Then you can right click on it and go to properties and then change the icon. And so what you can do is browse to your Katana install directory. So I have this pinned over here already, but this is where it would live on disk. And if you browse to this folder, you're going to find this Windows icon.ico file. So just click on that, open it up, and select your icon. So then you can hit OK. And now, again, if you go to your start menu, now you have an icon on there. So what you want to do now is go back to your original folder, and you can now rename this back to .bat. And then you want to go over back to your shortcut here, right click on that, go to properties, and then you can just change this to point to your batch file again. And of course, you can test that out. Let's launch Katana, and you can see that this seems to be working. You can see I have this little tagline here. That's actually coming from this line here, Katana tagline. So whatever you write in there is going to show up on that splash screen. So here I'm in my node graph in Katana. You can hit tab, start typing Arnold. And of course you can see I have all the nodes showing up there. So that's how you do that. And once you have that in your start menu, if you want to put it on your taskbar, you can just simply drag it over here, and it's going to pin it to your taskbar as well. So I'll move that over next to my PRMan one here. So now I have a PRMan and a Arnold. So the assets that I'll be using for this project are courtesy of the Foundry. You can see they're actually used in a number of different tutorials. You can see them here as well. This is from a company called Miralumo Films. This is their short film called Napo. And so I want to say thank you to them for providing these assets. And if you want to use these assets yourself, the Foundry is actually providing these for you to download as well. So you can go here from the Learn Katana webpage. You'll see if you filter for lighting or for getting started, you'll see a link to Napo asset. And so we just click on this, and under course files, there's a zip file for Arnold or for RenderMan. I believe these assets were originally set up for RenderMan, so I think they may work a little bit better under that. However, the Arnold one is the one we're going to use for this project. Now, when you download this asset, it's going to contain folders and subfolders with all of the data that you need to play with. And there's a whole project structure that it comes with. However, I like to set up my project structure a little bit differently from how they've set it up. So I'm going to go over that right now. So assuming you have a projects folder that you've got in mind, so I'm working out of here, I would go ahead and make a project folder, however you want to call it. And what I traditionally do is I'll make an assets folder and a sequences folder. So let's dive into the assets folder. You can see in here, I've just dumped the entire folder structure into here. So when you download it, it's going to be a zip file. So you could unzip it into this folder directly. And I'm just leaving all of the existing folder structure that's under there the way it is. Now, if you notice also, I've put in a groom folder here, and this is actually a XGen groom that I was provided for this course. So I don't think that's something that's included in the Napo Arnold download. There may be some hair curve files in there that you could use, but for this project, I'll be using an XGen groom that I was provided with, and I'll go into that a little bit later. If we dive back out to the Katana lighting course directory for our project, let's go into the sequences folder. So in here, this is where I'm going to make an SE010 folder. This is based on the names of the shots that come with the Napo assets. So there's a sequence called this. So I've made a folder that corresponds to that. If you go into here, there's 5 shots that come along with this asset, and I've made folders for each one of those shot numbers. This is just the way they have named them, so I'm continuing to keep those names. If you dive into any one of these folders, I've set up some work area folders. So I would put my nuke comp in here, rendered footage could go into here, and my Katana lighting scenes would normally go into here. And then a reference folder, if you're gathering lighting reference images or something, you could dump them into here. The way I'm going to be setting up this project, however, is multi-shot single setup. And so I've identified shot 1010 as the key shot. And of course, I could actually work out of this key shot work area. However, I've decided to go back up to the sequence level and create a lighting work area folder. I'm going to work out of there, and you can see I've got many iterations of my Katana setup for this. So now that we've got all that business out of the way, let's dive into Katana and get started.